So Radio Winchcombe, I am very excited to bring on my next guest, actually in Winchcombe at the moment, filming for the Antiques Roadshow. So let's say hello to the one and only Mr. David Bradley. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good, yeah.
Well, so how are you finding? It's a nice day. You're in Winchcombe. You're filming for the Antiques Roadshow. Are you enjoying yourself?
Yeah, it's been fantastic. It's very different from what I normally do, of course, but there are no lines to learn, no costume fittings, no makeup tests. You just turn up and...
So, obviously, people best know you for your work in Harry Potter and loads of other programmes that you've worked on. For you, what would you say your biggest career highlight is so far?
Well, it's always a mixture of theatre work. I've done a lot with the Royal Shakespeare Company in Stratford, which is where I live, which is not too far from here. So it's nice to be working here closer to home, and theatre in London, and there have been so many years where I've been part of so many great productions and companies. But I must say the aforementioned Harry Potter films were a bit of a breakthrough in terms of getting in touch with a wider audience, and then to have the pleasure of playing William Hartnell in Doctor Who, and then of course Game of Thrones, and you're very lucky if one big thing comes along in your career that people recognise you for, or that's popular all over the world. But to get more than one, I feel I'm a little bit greedy.
No, I mean, all the shows that you've been on, you get certain shows and you go on there and it's kind of, you finish, you go on to the next one. But it seems like all the shows, they have such a phenomenon. They have a huge fan base. You go to conventions to meet them. They've got so much love, especially Harry Potter. So what is it like being in a show like that where you go to conventions and you get to meet people because everything you've appeared in is huge?
Yeah. Well, it's great because you get lots of letters and nice messages from fans, but there's nothing like actually meeting them in the flesh and shaking a hand, having a little chat and signing something for them or having a selfie or whatever. And it just brings it home to you how fortunate you are to be in these big things. And it's just lovely, most days of your life as somebody telling you they like what you do, and you think, wow, it's wonderful. It's as good as it gets, really. So,
I mean, the irony is, last night I was watching the programme and you were on there. It was Benidorm.
Oh,
and obviously seeing you today, and I was watching that last night. So, that must have been a good gig to have. It's like a holiday as well, isn't it?
Well,
really?
It was, because the whole team there that have been doing it for years. You go there and you do write one episode. I was playing Steve Pemberton's dad in it, of course, Stan Garvey, and it was such a funny part, and it's a series I've been watching anyway, and so I knew what that world was. But to go there, to have a great time on camera and off, because if you're a guest on that, they don't just say, oh, and if you go to that club, that's a great karaoke place, or that's a great cafe, or whatever. They take you, and they've seen it all before. They've done, they've done Benidorm for many years, but they're still enjoying the crack, and they're happy to show you around and take you to the best places and make sure you have a good time. Yeah.
And I know theatre work is something that you like as well. And I mean, that must be completely different, because TV, you get the chance to stop, retake the scene. Theatre, it's live. So in theory, there's no room for mistakes. So do you have a preference between them? Can you even compare them?
Not really. I mean, for years, I thought theatre, that was the real thing, because I did the odd thing on screen, but nothing of any great note, but I always just enjoyed that live performance and that direct feedback you get. But since some really great roles have come my way on screen, I enjoy this just as much. The pleasure is really in just enjoying both as a contrast, one as a change from the other. And if you can get that balancing act right, that's just great. Of course, you can't plan these things. I mean, people talk about planning their career, saying, I'll spend so many years doing this and I'll do that thing. And I've always jumped on the first bus that's come along and hoped for the best. And I've been very fortunate that I've had some good journeys, good rides along the way, and they've always been contrasting things, and always very different new experiences.
Yeah.
So I enjoy the mix.
And are you working on any upcoming projects that you can tell us about?
Well, I've just finished on a BBC version of Les Miserables, adapted by Andrew Davis, who's done a lot of classic series. And that's going to be a 6-parter, I assume, sometime next year.
Well, guys, I'm so thankful for you taking the time to talk to us. I know you've got to go back to film. They've just given us a little signal. So thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us on Radio Winchcombe.
Take care.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.